like a lot of people have a lot of opinions about Ayn Rand, and I've never read any of her stuff, and so all knowledge I have on her is secondary. So
I've read 3 of her novels.
I've read
Anthem. I've read Anthem. I've read The Fountainhead, and I've read Atlas Shrugged. And I will tell you, out of all those, The Fountainhead is by far and away the best of the bunch. And yeah, Stepanek is dead on right.
You think it's worth my time?
Written,
yes, actually it is.
Good.
I will say this. The Fountainhead does what Atlas Shrugged should have done.
I've heard that from more than one person now, so yeah.
Well, okay. The problem with Atlas Shrugged is you can take the last third of the book and pretty much tear it off, and then tear off the last quarter of that and put it together, and you pretty much have it. And John Galt speaks. Cast ignore. Get to the story. I'm serious. I almost literally did that with my book. I was like, skip. Yeah, still talking. Skip. All right, we're back to the story. When does the bridge blow up? When does this happen? When does that happen? But
is that Redoubt's Bridge?
I don't remember.
Is it Bridge Sterling? Is it Sterling Bridge? Is it Sterling Bridge?
Whichever something happened, I'm not going to go into it. It's technically at that point it becomes, if you remove John Galt Speaks, it actually becomes a very good science fiction story that unfortunately the characters are very wooden. If you go to The Fountainhead, yes, they're basically people. Yeah, exactly what Stepanek said again there. Her characters were archetypes. And so if you walk into it kind of knowing of, I am displaying these characteristics, and these characteristics are tantamount even over personality, then it's a very interesting read. The one thing I will definitely give to Fountainhead is it has one of the scariest villain reveals. Villain does what they call the speech in praise of the villain, done by the villain, and it happens 2/3 of the way through the book, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying!" Yeah, and it was horrifying, and it was not the villain you thought.
Don't reveal. I want to read it. I want to read it now.
I want to read this now.
Thank you.
I've only read
spoilers. Her characters are wooden. Her characters are wooden, so get ready for that. Her characters make ideological choices that are based on their archetypical personalities. So don't expect anything great that way. But what is interesting is sort of the whole, the universe that she builds, or the world she builds. It all works structurally, but it has a very different tone than you expect from a lot of things. So, I mean, walk into it. I love The Fountainhead out of her works. Now, mind you, I love a lot of books above The Fountainhead, but I always find myself every once in a while going back and reading 200-300 pages out of that book. And also, don't watch the movie with Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper is the worst casting choice that they could have ever done for the character of Howard Rourke, the hero of the story. Worst possible. And even though Ayn Rand wrote the script, no, it did not work. It's too big. So that's what I can say for that. Now, you can agree or not with that, but it was a very interesting character study on the personalities and philosophies and psychology of man. So,
okay,
thank you for what it's worth.
The characters feel more like a vehicle to go over ideas and deliver the plot. Not
still like better than Doctor Who's writing.
I've only read Anthem, and
I think it's not hard to do that, though, according to everybody here.
True, I believe.
If you want to be able to enjoy Doctor Who again, go watch She-Hulk, and then go back to Doctor Who.
Poor Otter, he's just trying to think.
What are you trying to say, Otter?
Huh?
Otter.
Oh.
Otter, you
I gotta feed this boat. Be right back.
Well, I've only read Anthem out of Ayn Rand's books, and yeah, I'll say that much. The characters are more archetypes than anything, but I think what saves Anthem in a lot of ways is just how short the novella actually is. Like, I read that in a morning. It's only like 80 pages or something like that.
Oh, wow. Quick read. Maybe we'll get Fountainhead. I haven't read, but I've only seen her in interviews. I get her idea of
objectivism.
I think the only real exposure I've had to her is Razorfist talking about her.
Yeah.
I have Atlas Shrugged right there on my shelf. It's just I've never read it.